Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
Pick a number. 1, 2, or 3.
2.
I am halfway through the first Harry Potter movie.
No way.
Yep.
You're watching all the movies?
We'll see, but I've watched the first half of the first movie so far.
What led you down that path?
Something to do that is going to cook my brain less than scrolling.
Yeah.
And just curiosity. It's been long enough. I really enjoyed the books back in the day, and the movies are super famous and popular, and people love them. So, you know what I actually think happened? I think I started getting YouTube shorts of Harry Potter, and I was like, all right, I got to get off of here, and maybe I'll go watch these. I really like the acting and like actor selections. Dumbledore, Snape.
Yeah.
Like, I think the casting was really well done so far. Yeah, super enjoyable.
Do you want me to give you my thoughts, or should I wait until you dive into more? Like, I'm not, like, we know the story. I'm just talking about the actors and stuff. Like the first Dumbledore.
I know you really like, yeah. And then he passes away during the series, like in real life. Yeah.
And the one that takes over, I think, botched it. Like, because the first one is literally how I imagined Dumbledore in the book. It was so, and then Snape was different than how I imagined him, but he played his role so well. Alan Rickman, rest in peace, just like incredible. Minerva McGonagall, almost exactly how I imagined her in the book. Like, she played her role incredibly well. Ron Weasley, great, super, like, and he was just incredible. I didn't like Harry. I don't like, even first movies, later movies, like, I just didn't think he did a great job in that role. Hermione was really good. My mom's one critique of the Hermione in the movies was that she's too cute to be Hermione. Like, Hermione was, like, in the books, like, very bushy haired and like buck teeth, and like in the movies she's just this adorable, cute girl.
Hollywood.
But she's a phenomenal actress, and she did a great job. But the one that I really didn't like was Harry. He was the one that was just, I don't like the acting. And my mom thinks it's because I feel like I could have done a better job, and I get competitive, which might be a really good read. But I also just didn't like his acting.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. I got a lot more movie to go. That's good to know, though. One other observation I have is, and maybe this will change, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, but the book provides so much more richness compared. Like, I feel like I'm just speed running through the highlights of the book. You know, they find the 3-headed dog, like the Snape's pant leg is ripped, and Harry notices, like, all of these things that felt so monumental in the book, because there's so many pages of dialogue, of description, of like other things happening, just condensed into this film. So it's like it's almost like a highlight reel of the book, which isn't necessarily better or worse, just different. And I don't know, maybe that'll change throughout the course of the series. Or maybe that's just a book to movie like difference with the time constraints.
I think it's book to movie, time constraints, and also in a book, you can get pages of detail. Whereas like even that like leg ripped, like pant, whatever it is, it's like in the book you could get a page and a half describing that. Whereas in the movie, it's just a glimpse, like a second and a half, maybe even less. And you just don't, and you also don't get the thoughts. Like in the book, you get the thoughts of the characters. You get like so many of the emotions. In the movie, it's all, you have to perceive it, and so I think it's just a natural consequence of not having that internal dialogue from the book. So yeah, it's the descriptions by a good author are always better than whatever you can get across in the movie.
Yeah, the quality of the writing, and she's obviously an amazing author. And then the fact that books elicit imagination. So there's like your own visualization that could be different than how it's cast. But Yeah, entertaining so far.
It's entertaining. It's cool to see how they brought magic to life. But there's just the books. They miss a lot in the movies. They miss a lot. There are a lot, and they even like change quotes. They attribute certain quotes to different people sometimes. So I can always tell if someone's read the books versus only watched the movies because they'll say, "Well, so and so said this." I was like, actually, in the book, this person said it. But there's a lot that's missed. I will say one of the things I wish they did more of is I wish they give more insight into the lives of the house elves in later books. They you see in later books, you see the lives of the house elves in Hogwarts. Like you learn much more about them. They had house elves in the movies, but like you don't really learn about them. And it's such a unique part of the world. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
I know you didn't like how Voldemort looks in the later movies.
Yeah, looked and acted in a couple of the scenes where he just was very different than what I envisioned in the books.
Yeah.
Like he was terrifying in the books. And and maybe that's why you don't watch YouTube shorts of the highlights of a 7 or 8 movie series. You actually watch it. So we'll see. I watched another interesting movie that I'm lumping into 2 here called Prisoners. 2013, Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal. Hugh Jackman's daughter is abducted, and Jake Gyllenhaal is the detective on the case. 8.2 IMDb. I had never heard of the movie. Like,
I've never heard of it.
Pretty. I recommend it. Pretty solid movie.
You watched the whole thing?
Yep, I did.
Is it like that Liam Neeson movie where he's like, "I will find you"?
No, it's what is it? I don't remember the Taken movies that well. That one's more like action. I feel like this is more
it's super action. Yeah,
this is deeper. This is
interesting,
suspenseful and thought provoking, and like there's some different themes throughout that are,
interesting. Okay, I'll look into that.
Little movie rec. 1 or 3?
1.
How about these equity markets, brother? How about this stock market? Have you looked at your portfolio recently?
No.
When was the last time?
Months.
Okay, well, it's ripping, just so you know.
It's one of those things where
you're like, I don't want to see something going well because I just want the fear to drive me to keep working because
also because the markets, they can be so volatile. And maybe this is just my ignorance. It's like just because it's really high today doesn't mean anything about tomorrow or a week from now. And if I get like super into what it is today, then I'm going to have to be super into whatever it is if and when it does go down. So it's like
you can be aware of where it's at without being like super emotionally, or maybe you can't. One can be okay. Okay.
I can't. It's funny, like with scale weight, whatever, doesn't matter. I can control that, not a problem. I can't control the market. And like if I'm investing and really like if I'm putting time and effort into my nutrition and training, I know the scale is going to trend the way I want it to go. If I'm putting time and effort into investing and the market's not going the way that I want it to go, I'm going to be furious. So there is no non-emotional component to that.
Even when you get the logic explained to you, you can look at like S&P performance over a multi-decade window and be like, some years you have a negative 5% return and some years you have a 25% return. This is governed by the law of statistics and this averages out over time, and over this massive window, here's been the average rate of return.
No.
I think you absolutely could. You worked at your relationship with the scale. I think if you worked at your relationship, and this isn't saying that the time would be worth it, right? Like if you're dollar cost averaging and just ignoring it, that's probably a better strategy, but you could get there.
I could, for sure. I'm just like, basically every month when I invest, I basically write it off as I lost that money. So that it's like, there goes that monthly payment. Like it's gone. I don't have it anymore, which I think might be beneficial long-term, God willing, nothing crazy happens. But like long-term, maybe one day retire and I'm like, oh, cool. I didn't lose that money. It's actually been working for me. This is a nice little surprise. But Yeah, I basically look at it as like I'm losing that money, even though the goal is for it to be the exact opposite.
I hope we have some like financially savvy people listening to this podcast because they're going to be cracking up at the viewpoint that your entire you're DCAing every month over your entire 40 plus year career work window that you're going to be working, and you are assuming that that you've lost all of it.
Yeah, gone.
Then you wouldn't be able to retire.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, so it's not like retire and then, it's magically there. It's like, no, like you need to know how much is there in order to know when you can retire.
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Wow. My lead, like, hey, look at these markets. They're absolutely ripping. And then the response is like, yeah, man, the markets are absolutely ripping. Didn't really work. So that took us down a different path.
Let's go. They are ripping, dude.
It's too late for that. Like, I don't know. What are they doing?
You're stoked about it. What do you think? What's causing the markets to rip?
I believe that the borderline reckless monetary policy of the current administration, the previous administration, the administration before that, which has inflated the U.S. national debt massively, is leading to highly priced assets, right? Which is good if you own assets, but it's not good if you don't own assets. I think over a longer window, it creates more inequality, which is not good, between people who own assets and people who don't own assets. Because alongside asset prices increasing, prices of everything are increasing.
And you think Democrat and Republican administrations alike have both contributed to this? It's not like one-sided.
I don't think. They just have.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a $38 trillion debt. Like, Trump came in and had Elon do Doge and reduce some spending there, and then turned around with the big beautiful bill, and it was like multiple trillions, in spending.
Is that why Elon was fully against it? He was like, "What are you doing? Like, this is not what I signed on for."
I think so. I wasn't consuming as heavy during that spat between those two, or I just don't remember. But yeah, I think he wasn't happy about that. But look, there's people way smarter than me who think that we can increase efficiency, AI, increase productivity, leads to us, earning our way out of that debt. I don't know. I just, massive inequality is scary to me.
Dude, I went to the grocery store the other day. There's a locally owned one that I try and support, like a family owned one. And I got 4 things and it was $70.
What'd you get?
I got 2 small packs of beef jerky. I was doing security.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got 2 small packs of beef jerky, and I got a small case of a pack of 4 Doc Brown's diet cream soda. And then
delicious.
Dude, so good. What else did I get? There's one other thing. Might have been like pumpkin seeds or something.
Oh, gosh.
And it was $70.
That's insane.
And I was like, insane.
That's insane.
Absolutely insane. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I know a traditional grocery store would be less, but even so, I'll go to Walmart and easily spend $200 on something that should be like $75, or I don't know. It's just insane. It's to your point of, if you have assets, you're in a better position. But if you don't have assets and you're going paycheck to paycheck, I don't know how people are paying for groceries.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
Yeah, man. Not good. Not good. And then there's a debt spiral because the interest on the debt is increasing so much that it's becoming a substantial percentage of GDP.
The interest that the government owes wherever we're accruing the debt from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 3, speaking of prices of things, I've got a PSA for the people out there. Any homeowners. My homeowner's insurance has tripled.
Shut up.
In 4 years. It's literally been 4 years since I bought this house, and it has tripled.
Holy shit, dude.
So I was like, all right, this can't be right, because I was searching around and trying to figure out like average year-over-year increases in homeowners insurance. And I started shopping around, and I got quotes from 7 or 8 of the biggest providers. And a couple of them were actually quite a bit more expensive than what I'm paying, which I thought was outrageous. But I did find one that was like 50% of the cost of
50.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I switched over.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I know property taxes vary state to state, and Texas has very high property taxes because they don't have income tax, so the government's going to get their money one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But our neighbors, so we bought our house like just after the year or whatever, so like our property tax is the same for this year, but next year it's our neighbors, their property tax, it went up by like 8 to 10x after, like, basically insane. And so they had to have an appeal for it. And
wait, 8 to 10x?
Yeah, because from before their house was built to after their house was built.
Oh, because it was based on the value
just the
of the
land value. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like even then they were like, this is way too much. Like their property taxes are, it's astronomical. It's like, and it's more than many people's annual income, and like by a lot. And so they had to appeal it, and they had to go through there. So basically they were telling me, they were like, yep, that's going to happen to you next year, just so you know. And so they're like, when you need the attorney to run the appeal, let us know. But like, it's insane.
And the valuation of the assessment of their home value wasn't accurate. It was way too high.
Correct. They evaluated it, or valuated it, whatever the word is, way too high, and probably deliberately in order to get more money for the state, town, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you can run an appeal. But I think oftentimes they're banking on people just not appealing and just paying it. But yeah, they evaluated it way higher than it actually is, so that you then owe more money.
How did the appeal go?
Oh, they won. They won the appeal, and they got the prices down. But it's a bitch. You got to get an attorney. You got to pay the attorney. You got to go through all that. Like it's a whole process.
They got the price down to what they think the actual home valuation is.
They still think they're overpaying, but like it's significantly, like tens of thousands less than what it would have been. Literally tens of thousands.
Man.
Yeah. Crazy. Which is why, like, when I was a kid and I was watching these movies of these like older people who live on a farm who like can't afford their own farm anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood it. I was like, that's their land. Why is it being taken from them?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh shit, like property taxes, which is like, I get it. It goes towards school and fire departments and all that. I get it. But I also feel like if there should be some rules and regulations around, number one, if you don't have kids, potentially not paying for the schools, or if you've lived there for X number of years and you're over a certain age, either a drastic reduction in property tax. Like it's not fair, especially to elderly people who have lived there for a long time and
maybe don't have an income, retired.
Correct. It's just not fair. It's not right.
Social Security payments aren't increasing at the rate that their property taxes are. Yeah,
exactly. And listen, I might go back on that if you don't have kids, because if you're choosing to live in that area and you move in that area, great. Support the school systems. You're younger. You have an income. Awesome. But especially for older people who like aren't working anymore, it's so not right to like essentially force them to move out. And take the land that's been theirs for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or in their family for generations. It's just not right.
Yeah. I remember when we had like our first property tax discussion on this podcast, and both went pretty hard, and people were like not all that happy.
Were they not happy? They were like,
it bled over to you talking about it on your stories, and you got like 50-50 pushback.
I got, because people are like, oh, well, if you want nice roads and you want the police and all that, it's like, I get it. I get that's what it pays for, but also we can understand that it's astronomical, and there's real issues with it as well.
Yeah. That's right. But anyone who's getting gouged on homeowners insurance, I recommend shopping around. it felt overwhelming to me. Like, obviously I knew I could do that, but it's pretty simple. Just getting a bunch of quotes and then,
How many hours do you think you put into it?
Maybe 2 in total.
That's it?
Whole process.
Oh, wow.
Getting the quotes, getting signed up for the new one, transferring, canceling the old one and transferring.
Wow. I thought you were going to say like 12 to 15.
No, super easy.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. You got anything for me, Jordan?
Just the stuff I told you yesterday about the On Combat book that I'm reading.
Oh, how's your sleep been?
I've been prioritizing it, which has been better. It's been good. I did have like an 11-hour day in the car the other day, which like sort of fucked with my alignment. Just, you're in the car for 11 plus hours and then sitting down. I did a
your
podcast.
Body, you mean?
Yeah, my body like doesn't feel that great. But sleep has been better. I've been going up from like 4 to 5 hours to like 6 to 7.5 hours. So
that a boy.
Drastic improvements. Yeah.
Good. That's huge. And that's just 1 week.
It's just 1 week, man. I played a game of chess last night. Just destroyed this dude. And he dude, I get messages all the time when I play chess, and I'll show it to you. I'll show you the message this guy sent. The first thing he sends. This is actually gonna be really funny because if I just say it, people might not believe it. Let me.
In addition to the rating thing, I think the fact that you're flying the Israel flag has a lot to do with it too, and like the current like zeitgeist.
That's so weird. I screenshot it, but now I can't find it. Anyway, this guy messages me and he just goes, his message is, "Are you Jew?"
That was his lead?
That was his lead-in when I'm playing him. And I didn't reply because I didn't want to reply until, like, if I was going to lose, I wasn't going to reply. But if I was going to win, then I would let him know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes, "Are you Jew?" I didn't reply. And then when it's very clear that I'm destroying him, I just go, "Yes." And then I beat him. And then immediately afterwards, he requested a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like midnight, and I was like, "No, I got to go to bed."
Oh, you hit and run him.
Yeah, hit and run. Yep.
How's your chess game?
Bad. It's just not good. It's just not good. Usually if I win, it's because someone makes a really stupid mistake. Just like someone else makes a like, why in the world would you do that?
Is your rating hanging in the same range?
Yeah, it fluctuates between like 230 on the low end and like 313 on the high end.
Okay.
And whenever I get to 300s, I get real anxious, and I'm like, I gotta hold on to it, and then I lose like 4 in a row, and I'm like, damn it.
Are you still having fun?
I love it. It's great. Yeah, nice. It's great. I stick with like, I'll try one opening. There were 2 games in a row where I was checkmated in like 4 moves with my standard opening, and I was like, all right, well, I'm done with this opening. Like in back to back.
When that happens, do you go back and review the game?
No. I
would do that.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But I used the exact same opening 2 times in a row, and I got checkmated, and I was like, well, I'm just never doing that opening.
Was it something you were just making up, or something that you learned? Like, oh, this is an opening.
I don't like the idea of learning openings. And to be fair, I've tried, but like, I always thought learning an opening was just, you just learn what you do with your moves. But the chess app has all these instructional videos, and they're like between 20 minutes on the low end to like an hour and a half on the high end.
Okay.
And it's not just, hey, you do these moves. It's like, hey, here are the potential scenarios, and these are all of the responses. And the person talking is a grandmaster of chess, and they're going so fast, and like C4 knight is just, they're talking so fast. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I have no idea. Yeah. So I'm just basically going. I've been watching videos on like the philosophy of chess and the general
on
principles
YouTube?
of it. Yeah. So like, just to understand, rather than going for certain openings, just like basically keeping these XYZ principles in mind. And yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, having a lot of fun with it.
Good, bro. Let's rip some Q&A.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this. So someone said, China requires influencers to have a degree or certificate to post about certain topics. Did you see that? This is big news lately. So China is now implementing laws that says you can't talk about politics unless you have like a degree in political science or something, or you can't talk about medical stuff unless you are a medical doctor. You can't talk about health and fitness unless you have certificates or degrees in that. So this person is asking thoughts on that.
This is the first I'm hearing about that.
All right, I'll give my thoughts first. So I initially saw a post on this like 2 days ago, and the first initial gut reaction was like, oh, that's like a China W. But then I was like, uh-oh, no, it's not. And it sounds nice from the perspective, and let's just take China politics out of it for a second. And if you really want a deep dive in terms of freedom, just like Google search, like you can look up the rankings, and there are many different rankings on like freedom scales based on country and different types of freedoms. China is one of the lowest in the world in terms of freedom. And the idea sounds nice in theory, in that you can only have people who are legitimate professionals who have gone through education to talk about a topic and to give information out to the public, because often people are being misled. One of the many issues with it is that even right now, there are legitimate doctors, legitimate MDs, legitimate people who have very high-level degrees giving out horrible advice, giving out the absolute and there are people with 0 degrees, 0 certifications giving out legitimately science-based, phenomenal, nuanced advice. And just because someone has a degree or certificate, number one, doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. It doesn't mean that they have good intent. It doesn't mean that there isn't money or funding pushing whatever their opinion is. I mean, there are so many things that can create a conflict of interest that a degree or a certification doesn't it doesn't make them infallible or to outside influence, and doesn't make them right. So that's number one. I don't like it from that perspective. I also don't like it even more fundamentally from the suppression of speech perspective. It's just like you shouldn't only be allowed to speak on a topic publicly if you have whatever the state deems as legitimate education on that. And even a rudimentary look into the Chinese government and how it works and how they control the speech that's going on. You know, it's funny, people talk about censorship in the US, which it can and does happen, but on a level that if you can go on your social media and publicly denounce the whatever administration you don't like without the police showing up, then you aren't living in China. We'll say that. Like, if you can go out and without fear of the government showing up at your door. Now, it doesn't mean without fear, because, I mean, there could be citizens who take their anger out on you and all of that. And that's one of the consequences of free speech. But I'd rather have that consequence than have the other alternative of the government enforcing through police, through military, through laws that actually prevent you from speaking what you actually believe. So I don't like it from that perspective. I think it's very dangerous. And well, it sounds nice in practice, sort of like communism. In actual reality, it's a horrible, horrible suppression of freedom that I wouldn't want to be a part of.
Yeah, I like so it's funny because I had the opposite order of reactions that you did. My initial gut instinct was like, absolutely not. Freedom of speech, bad idea. My second thought was, well, I don't know what I don't even know what social media looks like in China in terms of like companies' access, like what they're consuming or what their algorithms are like or how they're built. What I do know is our algorithms in the US are becoming, I should say my algorithm, but I think it's ours in general. Like For You pages are prioritizing outrageous takes over truth.
Yeah.
And so I understand the intent and actually like the intent of trying to make the information that people are consuming more truthful, better, we'll call it, less misinformation. That being said, I completely agree with you. The way to do that isn't just to let a certain pool of people who are deemed qualified be the ones to have a voice and let no one else have a voice.
Correct. Yeah, I completely agree. We arrived at the same conclusion, just in the opposite order.
I wonder, on that freedom list you were discussing, I wonder where the UK ranks on there.
I would imagine it's getting lower on the freedom list right now because they are having massive suppression of free speech.
I hear a lot of different stories about police showing up to people's houses about something they posted on social media.
And it wasn't an incitement to violence, and it wasn't like it was stating their opinion.
Yeah.
And it was, and that's one of the issues with hate speech laws, because I've yet to find someone be able to adequately define hate speech.
Yeah.
I have not ever found someone who's fully in support of hate speech laws to define what it is in a very objective, clear way.
Yeah.
It's because anything that you don't like you could then categorize as hate speech. If you have an opinion, if someone has an opinion about anything, and you have a differing opinion, well, at what point does it now qualify as hate speech? If I say, like, I hate you, is that hate speech? Like, I'm literally using the word. If I have an opinion about you, I hate you, is that now hate speech? If I say, like, I think you're an idiot, is that hate speech? Like, at what point does it cross from freedom of speech to hate speech? And people use the term hate speech as, like, hate speech isn't allowed. Well, actually it is. It's encompassed within free speech. The issue is when you're inciting violence. And that, for me, is that line that we need to be very aware of. Or if you're like the classic example of, like, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Well, yeah, of course, because that can lead to real injuries. That can cause people to be trampled. That can cause people to not only get injured, and die. It's one thing to state an opinion. And even if you think that opinion is hateful, they should have the right to say that, right? Like, if someone is saying, I hate Jews, I don't like that, but I don't think they should be prosecuted for it. Yeah. I don't think they should. I don't like if there are Nazi rallies, or if there are any rally of a group of people because they don't like someone else. But I also think they should have the right to express that. It's competing. And is it ideal? No, ideally we'd all love each other and we wouldn't hate people based on their race or religion or sex or whatever. But, like, unfortunately, there are people out there who do that. And I think they should have the right to express it. And also, I think the majority of people will see that and think it's disgusting, and they won't want to be a part of it. And sort of they're outing themselves. And all you do when you suppress it is you keep that stuff, like, suppressed and, like, under, and, like, it's just like it's boiling under. So now you're interacting with people who might have these opinions that you don't know. I'd rather know my enemy than not know my enemy. I'd rather know who they are and let them out themselves. But I think the idea of having these laws that we've seen in the UK, for example, that prevent people from expressing their opinions, no matter how gross they might be, they should be allowed to express them without fear of the police knocking on their door and arresting them.
Yeah. And I've seen some instances that I assume are true, although I guess I don't know, with misinformation, the internet, etc., where the things that these people are saying that are getting police knocking at their door aren't hateful and aren't, like, you know, you're describing more of the extreme, which we both agree should still be allowed. Like, you should be allowed to say these things, even if they're awful. These are more plain, like, 1990s moderate viewpoint takes that are getting people arrested.
Yeah, I saw one video, and obviously this is, of course, on my feed. There was essentially not just a pro-Palestine, but a pro-Hamas rally in the UK, and a Jewish guy was there, and he had a Star of David, necklace on. And the police arrested him. And he was like, why can't I be here? And they're like, well, you're inciting stuff by wearing that necklace. And I didn't just see the video of that. I also saw the video of the interview once they arrested him. And they were like, well, you were wearing that necklace. He's like, what's wrong with wearing this necklace? Like, I'm not yelling at them. I'm not instigating. I'm just present and watching. Mm-hmm. And me wearing this necklace was enough for you to arrest me? Like, why is me wearing this an issue? And they couldn't explain it. But there's a very real issue of freedom of speech, freedom of expression, that is not just against Jews, but it's within the UK overall. That is, it's very scary to watch. It's wild to see.
Do you know what he was charged with for that?
I don't know what the charge was, but they arrested him.
Wow.
And it was like, well, you were wearing this, and you were instigating, is what they kept saying.
Wild.
Someone asked, are you still taking the GLP-1? Do you feel any energy difference during the workouts? I am still taking it. I fucking love it. I don't see myself getting off it anytime soon. I do not notice any energy differences, which is actually one of the wild things about it. It's like, you normally, when you go into a deficit, you get really tired, especially if it's a significant deficit or a prolonged deficit. And I don't think I'm in a deficit right now. In fact, I know I'm not, because I'm not losing weight. But
where's the scale right now?
Like 140, 142.
So you've probably been around maintenance for a couple months?
Probably like 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months plus. Yeah. I haven't lost any more weight. I'm just chilling. So yeah, no energy issues, nothing. I feel great. Like, for me, 0 negatives.
Zero known
negatives. That's right. As of right now.
Yeah. Because now I've coached dozens of people on GLP-1s, and basically all of them, 90+% who overweight or obese, and had tried many, many, many times to lose fat unsuccessfully, and wanted to give it a try, put on by their doctor. One of the common trends I do see is a much higher frequency of getting sick in the first
throwing up?
3 to 6 months. No, just like
like a head cold,
whatever, any kind of like sinus, just illness, which is probably immune suppression from being in a pretty large deficit, I would imagine. But that's and certainly not a reason not to use them if they make sense for you. But that is one of the negatives that I haven't seen discussed really anywhere that I've noticed.
I got a head cold pretty frequently early on, but also my wife did too. And it was when my daughter was starting in school, and which is just a petri dish. So it was hard for me to know, is this because of the GLP-1, or is this because my daughter is in school for the first time, surrounded by a ton of kids with runny noses? So it was difficult for me to know. But I did get a handful of head colds within the first 3 to 4 months. But there was some significant confounding variables that could have influenced that as well.
Yeah.
It's so interesting when I do these Q&As, I can always see like what the zeitgeist is, to use your word, because I get so many of the same questions. You wouldn't believe how many in this single Q&A the number of people who've asked me how much water should you drink every day is I've never had this many before on this specific question. I've gotten this question before, but not in clumps, back to back to back to back, of different people. How much water should you drink every day? How do you know if you're drinking enough water? How do you know if you're drinking too much water? How much water should you drink every day? Like, it is a very common question for some reason in this Q&A.
I'm trying to phrase this without being offensive to the people asking these questions, but like
without using hate speech.
without using hate speech. I'm trying to think of like the temperament and like intent and like what is going on with someone who's asking that type of question.
I think they're just inundated with influencers on social media saying this is how much you need electrolytes. They see people at the gym.
Delete your social media. Like, you know what to do. We all know what to do. It's not that hard. It's really not. You're not going to die from drinking too much water. You should probably drink a little bit more than you are right now. No, you're not.
You can, but most people aren't going to drink that much.
You're not going to. No one's going to just casually drink water to the point that they're dead.
Correct. It's not a casual thing.
It's not casual.
It's not casual. Yeah, you'd have to really force it or have some severe kidney issues.
I'm on tilt about stupid questions. Like the number of people asking how much water exactly they should drink per day. What does their training look like? What does their sleep look like? How many hours a day are they scrolling? Like, what are these people doing with their lives? Actually,
Scrolling too much.
I don't know. I'm posing questions. But people focused on the like 400,000th most important thing. I think I don't know. I shouldn't be answering fitness questions on a podcast. Like I'm enraged right now at people that many people are asking water questions. Drink more water. You definitely don't drink enough water if you're listening. Drink a little bit more than you are right now.
If you're thirsty, drink. If you're hungry, drink. If your pee is dark yellow, drink. If you exercise and sweat, drink.
But these are things that I knew in 5th grade. Like people don't know this? Do people actually not know this?
I think people, to give them the benefit of the doubt, I think that...
Don't.
I think they're inundated with people telling them you have to drink this amount, and they're like seeing people with these massive like 5-gallon jugs walking around with it, and they're just like, I don't know, am I drinking the right amount? I don't know idea. So I think they're just wondering. I also feel like people don't realize that, assuming they're not trying to hydrate with alcohol, everything is hydrating them, generally speaking, and they don't
liquids that they're drinking.
Yeah, correct. But they also, I think people have been taught not to trust their bodies, and they're like, all right, so I'm supposed to drink this many ounces or this many glasses. It's like, if you're thirsty, drink. If your pee is getting dark, drink. Like your body will tell you. Your body knows if you're not drinking enough, and it's more often than not, it's subconscious. Like if your mouth starts getting dry, you're going to start looking for water. Listening to your body from a hydration perspective is almost always the exact right thing to do. And if you're getting headaches or your pee is darker or you're getting cotton mouth, like drink.
Yeah, it's funny because I agree, except I would say you should drink slightly more than your cues lead you to.
I think you're right.
Because if you're feeling those cues, I think you're already not dehydrated, right? But you're suboptimally hydrated.
Yeah. No, I think I fall into that category. I definitely need to drink more than what my body tells me, for sure.
Yeah. I often do too.
I can't make this up. This is the next question I saw. I don't know if you can read it or if it's going to show it backward. There you go.
Why do you think people judge hardcore for carrying a water bottle, drinking always? See, I'm pissed at this, even though this one's more on my side. I'm pissed at this person because why do you care what people think of you? Like, that bothers me too. I'm just on tilt today. I guess I'm just in a bad mood. Who cares? Who literally cares what strangers think of you? It doesn't cross my mind that somebody would judge me for drinking out of this 70-ounce bottle of water. I'm not drinking out of this bottle of water because I care what a stranger thinks about what I'm doing with my life. I just don't want to have to make as many trips to my reverse osmosis filter. And so I fill this up because it's more efficient and it saves me time. Who cares?
Preach, dude. I also feel like I don't think anyone is legitimately judging you hardcore for it. You know, it's like maybe they'll ask. They might be like, "That's a big water jug," and in your mind you're like, "Oh, you're judging me hardcore." It's like, no, they were probably trying to make conversation in an awkward situation. It's like they might have just like they were probably maybe in the office. They didn't know what else to say. That's a big jug. Like that's it. It's like they're not judging you hard. It's not like they're going back to their friends being like, "You see that fucking loser? You see that huge water bottle?" They're not. Like, we're not inviting them to my fucking party. Are you kidding me? You see the water bottle they bring everywhere? Like they're not doing that. They might be like, "Oh wow, you drink a lot of water," which is like, I think one of the best lessons I ever learned is, if you think someone is insulting you, always respond like they're complimenting you. Because usually they're not insulting you, but even if they are, responding as though it's a compliment is like, it's the best way to own the frame and to own like, so like if they're like, basically anytime says something that might be perceived as an insult to me, I'm just like, thank you. It's the best way to reply because oftentimes it'll throw them off guard if they actually are insulting you. Very rarely will they be like, no, that was an insult, or like, no, it's a bad thing. And usually they're going to be like, yeah, of course. And it might actually turn into something positive. But how you perceive it is going to affect your mental and emotional state. So if you just perceive it as an insult and then you go back like, why are they judging me? You should be like, yeah, it's a big, hey, man, you drink a lot of water. Thank you. I'm trying. Take it as a positive. Like always thinking that people are judging you hardcore is actually a very conceited way to go through life, and it's usually not accurate.
Yeah. That's an interesting tactic because I assumed that most people would just do that.
It's the best.
When I'm going down an airplane, the aisle on an airplane carrying this thing, maybe 1 out of 5 times, someone will ask me how many ounces it is. You're standing there waiting and there's people putting their bags up.
Yeah.
I have it's never even crossed my mind to think anything other than, oh, this person wants to like drink as much water as I'm drinking. So I'm like, this is 70 ounces. Like I got it on Amazon. It was $11.
Worth it.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are just actively in the frame of mind of people are judging me. People think poorly of me. People are insulting me. And it's usually not the case. And even if it is, just always frame it as a compliment.
Yeah.
There's no better way to shut down an insult than to frame it as a compliment.
And 97% of the time, it's not an insult.
This is going to put you on more tilt.
Good.
If I say
Do
this.
it. Yeah. Let it rip. Yeah.
I'm struggling with consistency at the gym and I don't know what to do.
That actually doesn't put me on that much tilt.
Oh, stop it. I shouldn't have said that it was good. Because now you're going back on it.
No, I'm not. Read it again. I'll try and be angry.
I'm struggling with consistency at the gym and I don't know what to do.
Nothing but empathy in my soul.
Stop it. Of course they know what to do.
Yeah. Go to the gym. Go to the gym. But I empathize with that struggle because that's a real thing. That's like, okay, what are the 3 most important things I'm doing for my health? That's one of them. People who are like Reddit neckbeard arguing in comment sections about exactly how much water to drink. Like I despise that in my soul. But somebody who knows, all right, this is an important thing and I'm trying to do it and I'm struggling to do that. That's like somebody who's on the right path and I want to encourage and help.
I framed it so differently in my head. It's really funny. Because of the way that the question was asked and I don't know what to do, really infuriated me because it's like, obviously what you're asking is you're asking me to like give you some tough love and say, just go to the, like, that's what they're reaching for.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I would just rather you say, I need tough love. Like tell me to get my ass to the gym. Don't frame it as like, I'm struggling with going and I don't know what to do. It's like, of course you know what to do. Just be direct. Say like, I need you to fucking tell me to get my ass in gear.
Yeah. Go to the
gym. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that indirect way of saying like, please just, you know exactly what to do. Come on. Yeah.
Saw an interesting tweet that this dude has a theory that once you have 33x your annual expenses in net worth, that you've hit escape velocity and you basically can retire.
Does that seem right to you?
Yeah, it does. It depends on a number of factors, but I
think how much longer you're going to live.
Yeah. Basically your age and like potential changes in annual expenses based on, if this is like a 27-year-old kid who had an exit from a tech company and like it plans to one day get married, have a family, like buy how, like expenses could change from where he's at now, then who knows how accurate it is. But
yeah, if it was like a $5 million exit versus like a $10 billion exit, obviously is going to.
Right. But the exit just being an example of a way that somebody who's younger could accumulate close to that amount of wealth.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
33 times annual expenses. Interesting.
Just in the die with zero mindset of like not overworking your life away, but also ensuring that you have enough to retire comfortably. It's just a balance I think a lot of people don't think about.
I'm just concerned people aren't saving.
Yeah, the majority of people aren't. But there's a minority of people, and it's a different problem, who are overworking and oversaving and underspending and underperforming at non-income driving behaviors that they could be doing.
Do you know how much money I'd save if we weren't buying diapers? Bro, diapers are so expensive. Oh my gosh.
You got to go to Costco, man. You're spending $70 on beef jerky and cream soda. You got to be a Costco guy.
Yeah, I do need to go to Costco.
Costco's legit.
I'm a first-year father with a stressful job, struggling with meaningful exercise and nutrition.
I wouldn't try to lose fat. I would focus on maintenance for scale weight / body recomposition so that you're not putting your already like physically and mentally stressed self into more stress by being in a deficit. Unless you have a lot of body fat to lose, then maybe it makes sense. But even then, maybe not. Maybe it makes sense to wait 6 months, depending on if you think the stress of your job is temporary and like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or if this is just how your job is. And I would pick like a minimally effective dose of volume for your training. So like a relatively high intensity, like high RPE, low number of total sets, a lot of compound movements, and I don't know, maybe like a 3 times a week, 45-minute workouts at a time when you can do them. And that's my advice to you, good sir.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm looking at his picture. He doesn't look like he has a lot of weight to lose, but I think, the majority of Americans do. So I'm going to tailor it for like, if you do have a lot of weight to lose, I think for your health, it would make sense to be in a deficit, but rather than focusing on calories, especially if you're already stressed out, improve your food quality as much as you possibly can. I would say, even if you're not tracking calories, have a protein and fiber minimum. Every day, I got to get this much protein, this much fiber. It's such an easy way to immediately improve the quality of your diet, and ideally not from supplements, and especially the fiber.
I was going to say, do you differentiate between whole food fiber and like this
psyllium
brownie by Quest that has like 15 grams or
I would prefer whole foods in their natural form. The other stuff is fine. It's great as well, but like in terms of reducing caloric consumption and I think getting the best for your overall health, which is really what I'm focused on, I would rather I was going to mix blackberries and raspberries into one word. Blackberries. That would be a great GMO, a blackberry. I'd eat it. But blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, avocado, almonds, apples, oatmeal. I mean, it's just when you're getting fiber from whole foods, you immediately increase the quality of your diet. It's just like, I think it's just the easiest way, the simplest way to ensure that you're going to be eating fewer calories with a higher nutrient density. And then protein, if you get it from supplements, that's awesome. I'm fine with that, but it will fill you up more if you have whole food protein, unless you're having casein, which casein might be a great option for someone who's struggling with staying full. So if you're really overweight, I do think it's still I don't think it's ever a bad time if you're really overweight. If you're really overweight because your health it's not improving. It's actively getting worse the longer you stay at a very, very, very high weight. So I would say that, and you don't have to be meticulous with calories as long as you're getting your fiber and protein in and getting it from whole foods. And in terms of exercise, like I completely agree. Lower volume, higher intensity a few times a week, even 2 to 3 times a week is great. And then walking. Just walk, like put that baby in a stroller and walk, Or if it's too cold, if you have a walking pad for a couple $100 that you can get on Amazon, like just walk. My buddy Josh Smith was just here. He said the walking pad suggestion changed his life. He's a psychologist, so he would sit down all the time. He's changed all of his meetings and his desk so that he can walk during his meetings. And he tells his patients, he's like, I need to be doing this. And like, he's not like walking fast. He's just strolling. But like, it's funny because he has ADHD and he says it helps him concentrate better because if he's not walking, then he's fidgeting with shit on his desk. And so like this actually helps him concentrate without having a fidget and stuff. So he went from 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day to easy 10, like easy, just from strolling on the walking pad. And that has a massive impact, not only on health, but also on fat loss as well. So it's just whatever you can do to make it more convenient. 1, 2, 3 times a week, low volume, high intensity strength training and walking.
The other benefit with those food choices is your energy levels are going to improve. Like even if you're on fewer calories, but you're eating higher food quality and you're getting more micronutrients in, you're going to feel better, which is going to help because you're so busy and so stressed. So yeah, that the food quality recommendation was definitely a good one.
And I will say I found people are more likely to emphasize food quality when they are exercising. It's this funny behavioral pattern I've noticed where if they don't exercise, then they feel like it's not worth it to eat well. But if they are exercising, all of a sudden in their brain, well, now it's worth it. So it's like walking is exercise, count it as such, and understand that if you're getting your steps in, even if you're not exercising, it's still worth it to eat high quality. But if you notice behaviorally that you tend to eat like shit when you don't exercise, make sure, even if it's just a 5, 10, 15-minute thing, you do something to now make it worth it mentally and emotionally to eat well.
Good advice.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll be back next week. Have an awesome week. See you soon.
See ya.